Throw him into the fire, Dre.
You throwing it right in.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Texas Recruiter Film Twitter page. Got a little Thursday night roundtable with a couple OGs. I got Brandon Jenkins, Mr. 247. Here's the crown, man. Here's the crown, man. We got I don't even know the other guy, man. I ain't seen him in a long time,
hey,
man.
Only a few people can get me out of retirement, man. Look, that's Craig and B is one of the few that can get me out. But look, man, when Brandon told me you wanted us on, I had to ring the bell, man. So I'm glad to be here.
Mr. Andre Powe.
What's going on, y'all?
Andre Powe, man. How are y'all doing tonight, man?
Man, blessed to be here with my basketball brothers, man. Miss y'all.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm just happy we got Dre to come on. You know, he be all busy and stuff like that. Trying to front like
here he go. Hey man, look, I'm trying to be like Jenkins. You know that national guy, 247.
Hey man, we need to talk about that, man. So like, did you wake up one day and you were verified or what?
Oh wait, don't do that. Don't do that. But it is funny. It is funny. I was trying to get verified, when I found out that they were Twitter uplifted some ban or whatnot, and I applied. I got denied. I applied again, got denied, and then I did a corporate trip with my job, and then about a week later, it happened. So I ran off and celebrated. I think that was pretty fun. It was like a little milestone or whatnot.
Hell yeah, man. Hey man, so first of all, let's take a step back and let's start with Brandon. Let's start with Brandon because Brandon's been doing this longer than we have. Brandon, when did you start doing this basketball world?
I think April of 2017. April of 2017, which is my freshman year of college.
So that's kind of right around the time I started doing this.
Yeah.
What did you do, or what made you want to get in this space?
I always loved it.
Because you were also in the middle of walking on.
No. I was playing. I was fresh off of playing when I started. I was in JUCO, but I think the thing I always loved.
See, I didn't know that.
Oh, for real? Yeah. I was playing junior.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
College basketball. I guess one day I was chilling at my house, and my mom was just yelling at me for something. She was just mad at me for no reason, and she was just talking about so much about high school basketball, but do nothing about it. Just reeling into me, just saying how it was a waste of knowledge. And so I DM'd a bunch of people, and Powe was the only one that answered. And it took off from there. So,
what kind of things did you start doing?
Powe really had me getting creative. I think his biggest thing was he wanted me to cover basketball, but he wanted this a little different from everybody. You know how he says different from all the rest. So, just doing the edits with the write-ups, stuff like that. I try to copy his terminology because Powe has his own little slang with the real talk and saying in the house, it's kind of 90s type vibes. So, trying to pick that up, and then also making sure that I'm incorporating my words to make it professionally. But I think the biggest thing was just meeting kids, building relationships, and getting comfortable, just with the process of taking pictures, doing write-ups, and trying to figure out how to evaluate all at the same time. So
that was always the scary part for me, because I haven't done that a lot, go and pull players out of the line after games.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that you got to realize is they like the attention and other kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dre.
Craig, what up?
Yeah, man, you gotta tell me what you were doing to get started in this, and then we're gonna talk about the collapse.
So, I first moved to Texas in 2010, right? So when I moved here in Texas, my parents had got a promotion and everything. So I moved out here and I was working at Lifetime Fitness. Well, as I was working at Lifetime Fitness, I was training kids because I had just got done with high school. I played basketball, and I was trying out some local junior colleges around Texas. So I said, you know what, man? I would see some kids. And the thing about it, in this DFW, we have so much talent. So I would, just befriend a lot of kids and try to help them because I know a lot of them at the time didn't necessarily, especially in the Mansfield area where I'm at currently and where I was at in 2010. A lot of those kids didn't have trainers. So I was like, hey, man, y'all come train with me because I was training as well, getting ready for JUCO. So around that time, probably about a couple years passed, I was training and stuff. And I met a young man by the name of TJ Thomas, Texas Impact 413. Everybody know the famous TJ. He's doing some big things with Impact on UA. And his brother did a training session with me. I was training him and one of his friends. And, TJ was probably 2 years in his AAU program or 3 years. And he was already, for somebody that young, I think he was in his early 20s. A lot of people didn't know that when he started. He might have been in his teens, but he was in his early 20s when I met him. And he was like, TJ just as calm and cool and collected as TJ is. Hey, man, what you think about doing something? You ever thought about doing AAU basketball? Nah, not really. Well, you should do AAU basketball. Like, I got a program. So I was like, okay, what's it called? He told me it was Texas Impact 413 and that what it stood for. And, I was just like, man, I love basketball, I love the game, but I didn't never want to coach per se because, I know that that's a tough job in itself, and it's a huge responsibility. And I was in school. So I was like, you know what? I can be your recruiter because at the time I had a kid that I was kind of helping. Funny thing is I was already being a recruiter before I was actually a recruiter for TJ's program. Because there's this kid that played for Mansfield Legacy named Malik Murad that I would help. I would call coaches. I would look at their emails on their basketball page. I'll find their emails and email coaches his huddle, his transcripts. So I was doing a lot of different things because I felt like he wasn't getting notoriety and different things that he deserved. Because at the time, media game wasn't like it is now. That was 2016. So guys like Brandon, guys like Powe Moran, Powe was in the game, and he was doing a lot of things for the guys that weren't the big names. But a lot of them, it wasn't as big as it was now. It was just really Texas hoops. That was the ones that were covering the whole state. So, and then Buff was doing AAU at the time. I think Sloan was too. They had their own teams that they were focusing on in about 2016. I think they were starting to branch out. And Alan Branch was doing his thing, doing a good job too, but it wasn't like it is now. So I just did that. Then I worked with TJ at Texas Impact in 2018. And that's when I met my boy Brandon Jenkins, who was, like I said, he was with Powe Moran doing big things, man, and they were helping a lot of people, man. And then I'll let him go ahead and talk about how we met. But that's a little bit about my story, how I started.
Bro, we met in 2017.
Yeah.
Like we met like 2 weeks after I started. Like we Paul had me covering this NY2LA event. I never even been to an NY2LA event. And I mean, I guess basically I sat down and like it was this dude talking to some random dude, like dude I'd never seen after that. Like he introduced me to him and everything. Like Dre was talking to this dude about all the players on Impact and like what they can do. I'm like, dang, like I need to know this dude. Like he know a lot. And so like I just said, hey man, like what's your name? He said Andre Powe, and then he asked me, and I was like, he's like Brandon Jenkins. Oh yeah, you do good work. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, dang, I'm already noticing, like, what's happening? Like, I'm all like lit and whatnot. So, I mean, like, we had a real good conversation and exchanged numbers, and we seen each other throughout the week. And I was like, dang, bro, that dude cool. Like, but I always put basketball people like in my basketball life, in my personal life, with love. Let's just say I called him, we had a long conversation about basketball, and like for some reason it was just this instant comfort to like bring Dre, like comfort. It was natural, organic, like just to bring him in my personal life. And something popped off in my life that kind of changed me forever. And I had to call Dre. Like for some reason I just called Dre. And after that it's like, bro, like we just took off. And it was more about like brotherhood. Like,
yeah, I mean every time we were in the gym, you never saw Brandon without Dre. You never saw Dre without Brandon.
Like
y'all were stuck like glue, man.
Locked in, man. A lot familiar.
Yeah, no. Those
What'd you say, Greg? Go ahead.
But yeah, those conversations is kind of like our love for basketball is kind of what led to the entity that like kind of helped us like thrive. And I hate to say it, get paid. You know what I'm talking about? Like
it did get us. Yep.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I started doing this, man. I was trying to figure out because I stopped playing basketball. Well, not really, but I wasn't playing basketball. You grow up. I think I've said this before. You grow up playing basketball. I was in the 3rd grade, all the way through high school. I didn't play after high school, but I still love the game. And it's like you want to try to do something with your life that has something to do with that love that you have for that game. And so, man, and that was back in, I started doing this in 2017. But I was in love with YouTube, and like I used to watch vlogs and stuff, and that's actually what I started doing, man. I bought a camera and I was like, man, I'm gonna start vlogging. I want to see if I can do this. And it was the week me and my dad were going to Oklahoma City, and I did like 5 vlogs while I was there. Obviously, they were trash, but
what happened?
That's not the point.
What happened?
They were trash. Hey, you ain't get no hits. Nobody wants to see this. Nobody wants to see this, man. And like I get home and me and my wife, like I was trying to get her into it. She don't want to do that shit. but the first event that I filmed at it was like a high school gas, so it was some type of high school event. But it was at Duncanville Fieldhouse, and I remember my first video is like Avery Anderson dunking on somebody from North Crowley.
I remember that.
Yeah, I do remember when Craig did that video.
Yeah.
That podcast, all right.
Yeah, it was some. Yeah. It was. I mean, it was before the season. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because that was Caden Archie. I mean, that was all those guys.
Right.
But
with his skinny behind.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
headband, Mr. Headband.
It was nasty, but man, it's like, and then I started discovering like the Twitter part of it. Like, man, it's hard. It's sometimes it is addicting.
And Craig, don't mean to cut you off. But speaking of Twitter, me and Brandon still to this day, man, remember D. Brock Cunningham, the Final Four. What's your nickname, Craig? Sport.
You have to talk to this dude.
Still after this day,
man.
I
think it was after some game he had this past year. He had a good game or something. I tweeted him, "Hey, man, good game, sport."
I gotta ask him about that.
That is one of the quotes that need to be in the Twitter Hall of Fame in the basketball media community. After a Final Four game, and you remember how it happened, right?
I was wrong. I was wrong for what I was doing.
What happened? You gotta tell some for the viewers.
It was when they had gone to state, and Matthew Mayer, he's a big time dude in high school.
Right. Shout out to Matt.
Up.
Right. You're gonna have.
I'm sorry.
Well, Westlake dumping on you.
Yeah, you know, I said some things I probably shouldn't have. You know, but I appreciate it, man. Shout out Brock Cunningham, man.
Shout out, Brock. Good luck to him this year with the Longhorns.
Broccoli.
I remember reading the tweet,
but
it was funny because like he didn't just say that. He was like he averaged 19 points per game during the playoff sport.
Yeah,
something like that. I'm like, bro, what is going on?
Oh man.
And then, hey, Brandon, what they say?
You know, I might be able to find that tweet.
No,
you got to retweet it.
Deleted it.
Oh, really?
I think you might have deleted it. I'm the
next time me?
I'll talk to him about it.
Yeah, man, that was a great time. But like, man, I got a
question for you. I got a question for you, Craig. So about these blogs, like we can't we
you can still find them on my YouTube channel. I'm not gonna delete them, and I mean they're not bad, but I mean it's not like touched up like a professional. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't all into like this editing stuff that I am into now. Man, I've gotten way better with this stuff.
We need you vlogging again, man. We need you vlogging.
Man, I thought about doing that sometimes at like a basketball event.
You gonna
going around just talking to people, stuff like that. Huh?
Yeah, you need to vlog with Paul Miranda or something like that.
Yeah, I need Paul to say some off the wall shit then.
Hey.
God, man. You need to be versatile with that vlog. So big time. I would vlog, but people ain't really trying to see my face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right, man. People love you, dude.
Yeah.
But look at you getting the waves ready and everything, man.
We getting seasick over here, huh, Craig?
Yeah.
Do-rag Beezy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Dre, we got to talk to you, man. So you're very into your career now, right?
And yeah, man. Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah.
So do you work with your parents?
So, my parents actually, I work in the same profession that they did. They're actually currently retired. They're retired now. So they retired. I got in 2019, and I was doing both. I was working with Prep Hoops Texas, and I was working for the Federal Bureau. And I've been doing that for 3 years now. My parents have retired in 2020, both of them, respectively. My mom retired 2019 first. My dad retired this summer. Actually, he retired 2 years after, but the summer of 2020. Or, I'm sorry, a year after, 2020. So they've been, enjoying each other. But I kind of filled the shoes in, if you will. They gave me the baton, and now, I'm doing the Bureau life. I like it, man. Not going to lie to you. I missed the basketball game. Brandon can tell you. I still call them daily. Most of the time, every 2-3 days, talk about what kids. Because I still keep my ears to the streets. Still look at Twitter. And Brandon like, dang, Drake, how do you go ahead?
I hate to come off, but this dude is like the king of knowing everything that goes on in the gym without being in the gym.
Without being there.
He will tell. I probably will be in that event. And I'll probably cover the event with my own eyes, be physically there. And Drake, well, he did this, he did that. Oh, I didn't even catch that, bro. Like, how do you even know what's going on, bro? Like,
shout out to Baller TV.
Bro, he'll be at the crib, on it.
Yeah, there you go.
But my bad. Go back.
Dre, so tell me, is following in your parents' footsteps, is that what you always wanted to do?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and as a kid, unless you some people might aspire to be basketball players, their parents are basketball players. I might aspire to be football players, parents football players, or cheerleaders, your mom a cheerleader. Typically, when it comes to like corporate world, I don't see too many people aspire to be their parents in the corporate sense. I'm not saying there's some may, but I didn't wake up. I didn't when I was younger and say I want to work for the Federal Bureau of Prisons. You know,
Yeah.
But I did know indirectly it was a blessing to me, and I was thankful that my parents had a great job security, but and a good career. But I was just like, my heart's in basketball. I wanted to be a basketball player at the highest level. I wanted to play college. Then when my dream didn't go all the way I wanted, then I trained people, and then and then I helped people, and then like I said, I met B and got an opportunity, and B can talk a little bit more about that. I got an opportunity to work with him, and we started Prep Hoops Texas, which was by accident, Craig. By accident. And I'm gonna let Brandon tell that story. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in the basketball world. But I will say I'm thankful to be where I am. I love my job. But if I got paid millions of dollars to do, or not millions, if I got paid I know, because yeah, you're right, B. You're right. Not millions.
Cut him in.
But if I could make a living, being an evaluator, because I did it for the love of the game for these kids. Brandon does it the same way. I know that's why you do it too, Craig. We do it because of the love of the game, the passion for the game, but because we love these kids, because we love the relationships with like this is a brotherhood right here, man. One thing I can say special about the media, basketball media in Texas, nobody has it like we do. Nobody has as many personalities, people that know the game in and out, like the state of Texas, from Houston to Dallas to Austin, like San Antonio. We have the best media in the country, and people may not like that statement, but it's facts. There's no, like, here you can play anywhere and you will get fined. Like, you might have to, you will get fined because if you go you have to go to some of the right events. But if you go to Dallas and San Antonio, Houston, or Austin, they're gonna catch you.
Yeah.
We also don't have the best media. We have the funniest media. Like Craig.
Yeah, we have that too.
Like, you're funny. You're funny. Like you'll be talking
bad
on Twitter, and like I'll try to like get that out of you in the gym, and then you just be like, what's up? Like, and that's like, bro, that's funny. That's funny. I mean, like Buff like tweets knowledge is like, even sometimes like you have to look at and you bust out like I try not to watch as much TV. Like, I wake up and turn on the Twitter feed. That's TV to me. Like, what you're even doing in Houston.
Man, and the past couple of weeks, it's been on fire every day.
Like, you can't beat that. Like, these dudes we have talented, knowledgeable people who are very experienced in the game of basketball that go on Twitter, and they are very entertaining. And it only takes one tweet, and it just pops off. Like we got some lot of dudes over here. Like, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. They're comedians at heart, I swear.
Yeah. And like, I mean, the question I asked you, Dre, like, about your parents wanting to be like them. My brother and my dad are police officers.
Okay.
It wasn't meant for me. It's just like my I always tell people, like, my personality is my brother and my dad are the same person. And like, I've tried, like, I went to, like, I've interviewed to be a jailer. I'm like, that ain't me, man. Totally blew it. My dad was so mad too. I was like 22 or 23. He was so mad. I was like, man, that's not me. Like, man, I'm the kid that grew up, and when I was in high school, I was still talking about how I was class clown 4 years in a row in elementary school. So it's like, man, I'm not. That's not me. My personality don't do that.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, now that when I think about it, like, Dre, you really like the DJ Wagner, like the Federal Bureau. You know what I'm saying? Like, you like got lineage.
Well, how about a DJ Wagner?
You got like lineage, like your parents are retired with high regard. You coming in with a name like, yeah, my last name Powe, or I guess
my last name Powe.
But like,
don't do that.
but yeah, bro, like you're a generational talent, like type, like you got lineage, like a pedigree is undeniable with you. Like,
Craig, and how Brandon wants to hype me up, I'm about to do the same. Because Brandon, and we're gonna, please, we should get on this, Craig. Brandon single-handedly, and shout out to Prep Hoops Texas. B started Prep Hoops Texas. B started Prep Hoops.
I remember.
Texas.
Man, I did that because I was trying to get in touch with Powe and Cardi. Like, I just remember I was DMing everybody to the point where my Twitter was about to get shut down because I was breaking rules. And I was looking. Yeah, like it was just crazy.
That's awesome.
I was looking at ESPN's platform. I was like, yo, like I'm gonna try to do something with that. And I was DMing everybody from ESPN to get me in touch with him. Powe finally called me on the phone. We chopped it up a little bit. Like over the line.
When was this?
This was the summer of 2018. Summer of 2018. Mm-hmm. Like I was on this like relentless path to like get to the highest level because I felt like I was good enough. And but over the time I met a dude named Jared Nelson. And he's like, I work for Prep Hoops. I checked their site. I was like, yo, they have no Texas representation. Like, is that even a thing? And so like we formed a relationship, and he said like, yo, if you want to start it, we can start it. And like their biggest concern was like if the state was too big for one person to cover. And I was like, I'm thinking in my head like that's not a problem. I got people I can hit up, but like also like I was like, man, like I can cover it myself. But, like I wanted to work with people.
And B, because Craig, they did say they did trust Brandon to start it, but they thought that we wasn't gonna be able to compete, right? B.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because you talking about Texas Hoops at the market?
Yeah, because Texas Hoops had this on wraps.
Yeah, that's what had the market, and they did. Like nobody.
Yeah.
What's so crazy was the goal wasn't even to take away like from the market. The goal was just to try to find another platform for state representation, because like like Gasso, they had kind of like their own niche and like their own set of people, and so like as much as I want to work for them, like I had to find another way. And so that was the way I found it. And like we got it going. As soon as we started Prep Hoops Texas, Prep Hoops started throwing events there because they saw it as a market like filled with like grassroots programs. And like as soon as I took on like found out about the gig that I was about to endure, I had to hit up Drake because I'm talking to him on the phone. We had that established relationship, like we had that brotherhood. And, like it took off from there, and like we had a name, and it just felt good. It was young, and it was just happy because both of us just loving basketball. And I hate to go too far to like ramble on, but I think the number one thing that I learned from Dre immediately, which is transferred to my time at 247 right now, is the ability to generate content with ideas. Like as of right now, like if y'all see my work, like I'll put a bunch of long forms on just with different ideas like best fit or people I see who project to go higher, or it goes on and on. Like those are the two that just stand in my head. But like that's like a lot of that is Andre Powe, because when I first got hired, they were telling me about articles that I could promote so I can have the website ready and whatnot. And Dre, before like he even agreed to come on, he was like, you need to do an article about this. You need to do like a 2021 big man. You need to do analysis so people know what you're talking about. Like these different types of content and like kind of transfer. Like he had my mind thinking in a way where I can like generate content that appealed to not only the players and their parents, but just also like coaches overall, like a bigger audience, so they can think of things in the deeper light. So like yeah, Dre, when he says he helps people, like he helps everybody, like to this day.
Yeah, man, and see, that's why I wanted to have him on, man. I gotta brag on you, man. You're probably one of the nicest, good-hearted people I've ever met, dude.
Thanks,
you're always positive.
Appreciate you.
Always positive. Dude would show up to events in church clothes, man. Like, man, this dude would come to basketball events looking like he's at Sunday service.
Because I probably was and just got right out of it and had to praise God first. But
yeah, man. I mean, great dude, man. Brandon, so when did did the prep hoop stuff stop at some point?
No, like it got kicked off, and me and Dre were just busting out content, making sure we're everywhere. Dre really did a great job. Dre really outleashed his inner scout with the finding of Malik Henry and CJ Kelly, and using these texts and stuff like that. And we're just generating content, making each other better. Dre also taught me how to be a leader. Like, it wasn't always just easy. We had rough patches along the road. I was still growing up, trying to figure out how to be gain some maturity within this and learning how to work with others. And so and then Dre tapped into this middle school stuff where he started developing relationships with the dudes who are seniors now. He was covering the seniors now. While we were with Prep Hoops, he was discovering those dudes. Toby Walters, RJ.
Hey, there's a lot of those in Texas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those.
He might have been the first one to ever write about these dudes. You don't know. He was up there in middle school, tapping into these dudes before they even made it as big time as they are right now. So it was that, and probably the end of July is when it all changed. I was getting ready to prepare for going to the University of Texas. That was probably around the last time I was on this podcast, and Prep Hoops just started tripping. They just went away from the normal group. I mean, it was me, Dre, and Jeffrey. Shout out to Jeffrey, did a great job.
Shout out Jeff, good work, ball so hard.
But they just started adding dudes.
Yeah,
they started adding dudes without us knowing. Communication wasn't there, and so but it kind of hit at the right time. I know Dre was making this transition within his job, locking in and being successful in his regard. Jeff had his own scouting service prior. I think he realized that he could, delve into that. And he's seen how that's evolved with not only his edits, but he's starting to throw events now. And he has potential because whenever Jeff puts his mind to something, it ends up being something incredible. Mm-hmm. So, and then me, I get to UT, I was just worried about trying to figure out how to graduate and make some friends. You know what I mean? So, I had my mind focused on something else other than prep hoops. So, we kind of slowly drifted apart. But it was terrific while it lasted because of the content that we bumped out and the relationships that we were building with players and parents. And Dre's a big part of that because the stuff that Dre led by example with while we were at Prep Hoops is shit I still use today. So it was.
Yes. So go ahead, Dre.
And I, appreciate you, B. B's my basketball brother, I call him my real brother, But as he's giving me my flowers, Brandon has to get his own. Because Brandon he taught me a lot about it when I got in the game. Yeah, I might have given him ideas, but he was giving me ideas too. Because one thing about Brandon is he has a lot of professionalism within this game, which is why he is considered one of the best, in my opinion, the best high school evaluator in the country, because people don't see the hard work I see Brandon put in. Brandon stays up all night, sometimes to make sure he has everything together. He forms relationships. He perfects his craft. He used to tell me sometimes if I would be up, when we were Prep Hoops, I'll put something out 10:30 at night, something that wasn't, marketing. It wasn't marketable. Dre, make sure you gotta be like this, bro. You gotta be. And he did that because he cared about he cared about me as a person, but he also cared about what we put out, the content we put out. Yeah. And he always wanted to make sure that it looked elegant, it looked immaculate. And it has covered him this whole time. And he does things the right way. Some of these evaluators, and like I said, we have great evaluators out here and people that do it the right way. But one thing I can say about Brandon is he always did things the right way. And he's going to cover a kid, and what he sees, he's going to write about. And he's going to give the kids what they deserve. Not based on their personality, based on, he doesn't, no money, none of that. He does he's gonna rank you the right way based on what he's seeing. He's gonna use everything that he saw, and he's gonna retake his time to figure out why you're number one, not why you're number two, why you're number three, your pros, your cons, what's translatable to the next level. There's a lot of people. He talks about how I found a couple kids in East Texas and whatnot, but a lot of those rankings that we worked on, Craig, and we did when we first started, we did the 2019, which was a lot of that was right now in the past decade. That's probably top 3 classes in Texas. With Tyrese Maxey, RJ Hampton, Drew Timme, and I feel like we did a good job because, I kind of like Brandon said, being a leader. I don't mind, also leading, but also don't mind following too, because I saw my boy and he was handling it. I was like, all right, B, how you want to do this? And we did the rankings together, but he had already drafted most of the rankings out. It was just like, Dre, what you think? He always allowed me to be a freedom thinker because that was my coworker too. But I always recognized, I told B, I said, B, you the founder of Prep Hoops Texas. Shout out to Prep Hoops. But I might be your guy, but this, you know what I'm saying? I got you. Like, whatever you want to do, I got you too, because I know he gonna do it the right way. And so a lot of these rankings, man, Brandon did the rankings the right way, man. And I think that's a lot of why we took off, because like Brandon said, man, we started off, man, Prep Hoops Texas started off like it was good, man. We started off real good. We didn't think we was gonna be able to compete with Texas Hoops. Me and Brandon knew we could. And shout out to Texas Hoops Blue and Sam, Mike and Lyndon and Mass. They do a great job, man. Not taking nothing away from what they do, man. They have taken care of so many kids, and we love them too, man. But I don't
know if y'all have seen their podcast that they do on Thursdays, but I was telling Michael Timmons, because Blue was like, yeah, a couple coaches called me when I was on the way here, and Michael stopped it. He goes, hold on, Blue. Coaches talk to you? Coaches call you? What are you talking about, man? I was like, oh my God. I told Timmons, man, you're crazy for that. But I like it. That shit's funny.
Yeah, no, they got some good dudes, man. They funny, man. They got some they classy, professional guys, man. We love Texas Hoops. It's all love. But yeah, man. Yeah, B Jenkins is that guy. That's why. Hey, look, you see that at sign 247, man. He doing big things. I always knew he could do it. I know you did too, Craig. Like Brandon, everything that Brandon has gotten, he deserves. So, I mean, sometimes when people get their blessings, man, Brandon has never been like that, and you have never been like that either, Craig. We happy for each other. Some people are not always happy for each other. And
I try to always say, man,
got to root for each other, man.
I don't just say it, man. I try to support everybody.
Man, when B got on 247, we got on 247 because he put so much work in, man, and we got to uplift. And I feel like we did, but B deserved that, man. And so I appreciate you, B. You know that. On the record, off the record.
Yeah, I'm going down much. No, it's I appreciate the kind words, but yeah, like when I say it's a brotherhood, it's a brotherhood. Like we just love basketball, like
Yep.
And I think the thing I loved about it was like it helped me strive to like find value in not being the traditional type of scout. The ones that sit down with the legs crossed or whatever, watch a game, and it's just like oh good, and just having like very professional conversations. Like no, that's not me. Like everything that I'm gonna do with this, like I'm gonna do it because I love it.
Yeah.
If somebody dunks, I'm gonna be like, hey, like Dre sees me in the layup. Like I'll be in the layup line and somebody dunking, I'll be like, hey, like I still feel like I hoop. So you know what I mean? Like I'm like good pass, or like I'm hyping up. Like this time I'm working for 247, and I'm hyping up the kids that we rank. Like because I want to see everybody succeed. You know what I mean? And like I just want to bring that type of vibe to it because like first things first, you fall in love with the game, you play it. So like I try to envision myself in those kids' bodies while they're playing. And I think it helps the evaluating process, and then it helps like guys like Dre or guys like me, like hopefully change their lives for the better. So
yeah, and so like me and Brandon have already done a podcast. We did a podcast like it may have been in 2019. It was Buff's first what was that? The Next Wave camp. And I had actually brought all my stuff with me because I was doing one with Sean from 3D, and Brandon happened to be there, and I was like, hey man, why don't you just come with us? And we take 10-minute drive to my job, and this is why I like this platform, because I don't have to carry a whole bunch of shit around with me when I want to do a podcast. Dude, I had 2 backpacks full of electronics, like talking about like microphones, recorders, wires. This is so easy. But I had to, hey man, wait, I gotta set it up. We're inside my job. My job's about to close. And they're probably wondering, man, why the hell is he even here? And but so I wrap up Sean, and it's dark outside too, man. And I was like, Brandon, you just want to knock it out? And we knocked it out. But yeah, that's the little story about the podcast that me and him did. That was before he popped off and he became corporate. So hey man, let's talk about how it happened, man. Let's talk about how you got this to where you are now, man, because it is incredible to see somebody that you literally started from the bottom, now you're here, man. And you're probably not where you want to be, but you're where you are. You are where you want to be, but like you know what I'm saying. There's levels to it.
He's where most are not.
Yes. So talk about how you got to where you are right now.
Hey, the first thing, y'all want to know what's funny? When we did that podcast, that's August 2019. But I moved into UT that next week. Like I moved on the campus that
Yeah.
That next week. And now, like we doing this podcast now. I'm about to leave this place in like 2 months. Well, I graduate in 2 months, but I'll probably leave here next year. I'll probably stick around for a little bit. I got to walk in May. So, but not like that's the funny part about it. But to answer your question, I took that break from prep hoops as soon as I got to UT, and like I said, I was just trying to make some friends, and so like the way I went about it was like I would go to a rec center and try to make friends, but like that I was just failing at that. So I was pretty lonely like for the first 2 months of like at my new school.
It happens.
But I went to the gym one day. I went to the rec one day. We were playing a game, and like it's usually pickup games are 1s and 2s for like 15, but like over here they play 2s and 3s for 30. And so like out of all the points, I probably had like 15 points or something like that. I was getting busy. Like I'm not even no stunt. And they had this graduate assistant named Austin Chambers that just happened to be there. He was like in a wheelchair because I think he broke his foot or something. And like after the game, like he's like rolling on the wheelchair up to me. He's like, "Hey man, like do you go to school here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Do you want to do walk-on tryouts?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, I make friends." Like it was like the most nuttiest thing ever. Anyway, he thought I was good enough to be a walk-on, and so like the trials for the next month. So I spent the whole month training and whatnot. Get there, I'm nervous about the tryouts, and then realize it's the same people in the trial that I used to fry at like the rec center at UT. So it was like easy to get on, and then I did a little 8 months playing for like Luke Yaklich, and learn knowledge from him, like having the team right for scout team, just so we gave him a good look, and he used to mess up all his plays, and then COVID hit. Like we got some Big 12 champion tournament, and COVID hit, and I think it all kind of changed when I was like starting my scout service, and Dre was starting his. Actually, he started his during the season, but like we were trying to start our scouting service, and then I think it all really changed in June of on that little quarantine COVID period where Evan Daniels abruptly just went on Twitter and said, "Hey, like I'm gonna take a job in the agency realm," and like now and then the head dude said we're hiring 2 dudes, and there was a college coach that was near and dear to me. He hit up Brian Snow and put in a good word, and after a couple interviews. Like, thankfully, I got the dream job that I always wanted. I'm working for 247. So,
yeah, that's not enough for me, man. What was the feeling, dude? What was the feeling, man? Come on, bro. Like.
Let me get my cold beverage. Shout out to my
fucking humble.
Where your nice cold beverage at, Craig?
But in the words of TJ Thomas, a non-alcoholic beverage.
Oh yeah, TJ non-alcoholic. Oh, Craig, I ain't seen them before. That ain't the regular Sprite.
I saw it at Walgreens, man.
I forgot you big time, dog. Yeah, you don't drink what does drink?
No, man. But I always say, man, during that COVID period in Texas, I mean, basketball wasn't shut down. I mean, and that was around the time when I was with the Dynasty kids, and but man, I was busy. Like
some of the best basketball was playing during COVID.
Yeah, man. I mean, crazy.
Y'all remember when Casey Wallace Warriors?
Where?
When Casey Wallace came alive during COVID?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when he started blowing up. Yeah.
He was nuts.
What was that team that they put together? That
Taz, right?
Bob and
Taz
Elite. Taz Elite, yep.
Fob, Bevis Nolan. Yeah. Coach Belvis, Coach Fob, they did a good job, man. Team was loaded.
Coach Fob and Coach Belvis. They're just positive people.
They are, man. They are.
Hey, man, tell me what Fob doesn't have to be positive about, man. That dude, he is absolutely living the dream. His clothing company blew up, and he's coaching basketball. He's good, bro.
Every time I see Fob, it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Every time
another great.
Every time we see Craig, he makes us laugh, huh, Brandon?
Bro, what? Bro, because
Craig, we laugh at you, man. Sometimes you'll come up with a conversation, we just straight laugh. We like, Craig, you just always made us, you comical, man. We love you, bro. Huh?
Hey, man, do you remember the conversation that me, you, and I think this was the first time I met Doug at the Hoop Fest. Brandon, me and you were sitting on the wall with Doug, and I don't know what we were talking about for about 45 minutes, but I never stopped laughing. Hey, I don't know what we were talking about, but all I did was laugh.
You mean Doug Jones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Doug Jones, I'm like a little pest to Doug. Like I'll say some stuff that'll make him mad, and then he'll give his true emotion on what he's feeling, and it's pure comedy. I'm still trying to get him on his way that Jacquees is better than Chris Brown, but we're gonna get him.
You hear this, Craig?
I don't get into that, man.
We gonna get. No, Craig, I got a question. For you. Have you ever seen us, me and Dre, in the gym, and you'll walk up and we'll just bust out laughing?
Yeah. He's probably laughing at me. Man, my boy Craig looked like he gained about 5 pounds over a week, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, never that, Craig. Nah.
Because you say a lot on Twitter, and then what you say on Twitter, make you seem like
I'm a keyboard warrior.
Yeah, if you see Craig, you'll see him on Twitter, you'll think he's just hey, he can't do this, he can't do it. But then when you meet Craig in person, he'll just be like, hey, what's up, man?
Quiet.
Hey, y'all doing?
Chill, dude. And being in the one time when Craig was on the sideline, he was mad about something he was filming. He was like, man, fudge. He put the camera down. And we was like, Craig, what you mad?
Hey, man, you don't know how many times. It was
9 o'clock, Craig.
You don't know how many times I've caught myself saying stuff into my camera. And the one is man, what's his name? He's a new guy at he went to Hill College. He's going to UTSA now. Bug.
Okay.
What is his name?
Heard good things about him.
Yeah, he's lights out shooter, man.
Shout out to you, Bug. Good luck to you this season, man.
Bugs Bunny, Ice Bugs. Man, this dude. Man, I was at the Collin County game when they played Hill College, and I was filming. And man, there was a point where I felt like he was open to shoot it, and in my camera when I got home, I'm going through the video, and I'm playing that part, and I say, "Let's shoot the damn ball."
What?
But he pump faked past it, and then he got it back, and he hit it. But I posted that video on Twitter, man. It's so funny.
I gotta see that one.
I catch myself doing that all the time, man.
And you know, like, you remember when I used to make all those appearances on Mike's videos?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Brandon would always say something. We know it's a Mike video if Brandon Jenkins says something on the end of the video. Dang, you're gonna hear Brandon ad lib on a Mike Timmons video.
Oh,
it never fails. Or Brad
all the time. He used to edit. He told me one day, he said, "Hey man, you got to cut that out, bro. I had to edit the whole video because he was over there talking reckless."
Oh my god.
Kind of hit the Kevin Hart when Don Cheadle said he was 56. Hit it. Dang.
No, that really didn't need
hey man, let me ask both of y'all a question. Who's the best player you've watched since you've been doing this?
B?
I mean, I'll answer mine. I mean, I don't get out of DFW, so I mean, it's got to be Tyrese Maxey. I mean, I've never seen something like that. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna go back to like when I was in high school and guys that were in high school, because I would say like Darrell Arthur and like CJ Miles, like Jesus. I mean, Donald Sloan, Darryl Rowland, like I mean. But like doing this media stuff, I mean, for me, it's Tyrese Maxey. I mean, unbelievable.
He was like, Tyrese barely ever had a bad game.
Ever.
Barely
I filmed so many of his games during his junior year that I was able to make a mix out of it. I don't think I missed one of their games when he was a junior.
Tyrese is nice, man. Who you got, Dre?
I'm gonna go with. And it's funny because B probably gonna look at me crazy because at first I felt like the position that he was playing was forced.
Oh, Lord.
So I'm gonna go with Cade Cunningham. Cunningham. At first I ain't gonna lie, I was like, I thought RJ Hampton was the number one player in his class. Well, actually they're not in the same class, but Cade, I thought that he was out of position. I thought he was a small forward. And Brandon was like, "Nah, Dre, he's a point guard. He's a point guard." I was like, "Yeah, he can play the point guard position because he has poise with the basketball, pace, makes others better, can touch the paint, can guard the 1 through 3. But I just thought that naturally he was more natural of a wing at the time. But I started to see what Brandon was saying because they were transitioning him to that because he had all of the IQ and the ability and the ball handling and the skill set. And, man, at 6'7", what Cade was doing, Sean Livingston-esque type of thing. And, everything he did when he was out here translated over to Montverde. They had arguably one of the best high school teams of all time with all them jokers, Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year, which – we could have argued that was Cade's to lose, but Scotty also had a good year. You had Derek Whitehead. You had
Moses Moody.
You had Moses Moody. Who was the big man they had, B? Sharp.
Ooh, Dayron Sharp. Yeah. I cannot like my brain won't put me on that.
Yeah, so they were loaded, man, but. Yeah, Cade probably was the best prospect I've seen when I was in the game. That'd be my best player I've seen.
I made the role. Tyrese was pretty. I couldn't say Tyrese Tyrese was pretty good, but I don't want to do the same. Before doing this, it was Trae Young. Like Trae Young was the best player I've ever seen. Like I have to roll with that. Like I always have to say that before.
Yeah.
But like since I actually started doing this, Pawe Banchero, he was like a mini monster. Like he didn't miss a mid-range jumper the first time I watched him play. Like he was a pro as a junior in high school. Like he could have skipped the senior year and went to the league. Like I have that much faith in Pawe Banchero. Like he was probably one of the best players ever. I remember calling Dre. I'm like, bro, like he don't miss. Like he like that. Like he's nice. Like he has it from all three levels. He's like a little like he has a lot of mellow in his game because he can go isolate himself in the midi spots and then jab you one dribble pull up. Like he got a bag. Like he's officially official. Yeah. You know? I like my pick for rookie of the year type.
What you think he gonna do in the first year, B? Orlando? You think he'll have a big year?
I'm expecting him to at least average 18 points per game. Like if he doesn't average 18,
man, so young, man. They should be able to go up and down all game. Like I mean, just like relentless.
Like I think he has game, man. I think he has game. Like Paolo, I think Paolo's nice. But no, Tyrese was definitely up there, man. Tyrese made the game look fun.
Man, you know I always get into this and then I forget names, man. 1 second, man.
Bro, Dre.
Javonte Smart.
Oh, yeah,
those 2 games that he had at the Hoop Fest. Oh, that was crazy.
Oh, man.
I was crazy. What did he score? 110 points in 2 games?
Yeah, that was nice.
Is that would you guys say that's the best 2-day performance in Thanksgiving Hoop Fest history, or what would y'all say?
Yeah. But I have Trae Young by it, so.
Trae Young did turn it out though, B.
Trae Young shot the piss out of it. Like, and he shot it from like Mars. Like it was nuts. Like bro was on that.
Trey's a bad dude. Yeah. Trey's a bad dude.
Bro was like really on. What's the like? Do y'all remember like the best games y'all had playing the game of basketball?
What? the best game we had playing?
What?
Is that what you asked? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I was like 24. I went into the Rowlett Rec League. I had 45 points.
Hey, that's how I made your production.
Hey, and I had all that, and we still had 10 points. We still had 10 minutes left on the clock. I could have got 50, but they didn't let me go back in.
Baylor Hill, I see you.
In high school, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think my high school coach is a great dude. I think he only played favorites. I was a shooter. I've always been a shooter. He only put me in when a team was running 2-3 zone.
Hey.
And the only thing I did was run around the 3-point line.
Zone buster.
Hey.
And that's all I did. I don't know, man. I think, man, there's so many coaches nowadays that love to be in the gym. I mean, I've seen like coaches doing videos, specifically Zach Ware from Keller High School, head coach at Keller High School. He's pulling the gun out. Coach. He's pulling the gun out and getting shots up. Like, you didn't see that back then. Obviously, you wouldn't have seen that. That was back in 2006 when I graduated. But, I think we have coaches nowadays that love being in the gym. And a lot of coaches really care about these kids. And it's gotten to be if you don't, he ain't going to go there next year. So you better figure out how to love my kid. Yeah, I mean, and it's become competition. I mean, you see that in every event during the summer. I mean, I was talking about this with Lake Highlands Joe Duffield last night. I mean, I see him at every event with his Lake Highlands shirt on, just making sure that these prep schools see him. Like, hey, Trey is my kid. Like, Lake Highlands.
And most definitely,
Trey is his kid, and
yes, sir.
One player in the country. He didn't need to leave the state.
Number one player in the country. That's crazy. That's crazy. And Craig, B talked about it. Because we talk about it as media. A lot of these kids are leaving and going to these prep schools, but that is big time that Trey ended up being the number one player in the country out of Texas, and he didn't have to leave, like B said. He had to leave Texas. He had to go Oak Hill or, Prolific Prep. Shout out to them, but you can get seen out here.
Yep.
We got enough competition.
And I mean, I understand. I mean, some people say it's less school, more basketball, more time in the gym.
Right. I get it. And I get
but for me, man, it's like Matt Steffi said it. He said, I got Tyler Ralph right down the street if I want to get some training in. We got some of the best trainers in the business at DFW.
Right. Well, not just some of the best trainers. You got some of the best teams. I mean,
some of the best teams. You got
Duncanville is a top 10 team every year.
Events.
Yeah, the events. Yeah, you got Glenn Smith. Buff does great events. You got Marcus Sloan, Jim Hicks. Like, we got it.
Yeah.
Some of the best evaluators. I mean, we got national evaluators come out here from Texas. That we got that.
If you're a kid from out of state, it doesn't matter if you're a kid from out of state. I mean, our media guys are going to make a video about you. Our media guys are going to talk about you. They're going to take pictures of you. So I mean, you're going to get seen. It doesn't matter.
You got to get the local.
Duke was just at Lake Highlands the other day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Well, and who was here last week, B?
It was Kentucky.
See?
Yeah, Kentucky.
Kentucky really was that Lake Highlands. Nobody would say that.
That's crazy, man.
It's wild, man.
No, it is. It's wild.
But no,
I hate to say this, but yeah. I got a quiz I got to take by
Look at this guy.
Hey, we cut it off, man. I know you got things to do. I wish we could have planned a little better. You could have put it on your schedule, calendar, or whatever you need.
Man, I was looking forward to
you good? You good, Craig?
Man. Hey, man, I appreciate both of you dudes, man, because y'all do a great job. Hey, Dre, if you ever get a chance, man, step back into it, man, because we miss you, man.
Please.
Craig, and B can tell you, I haven't been in a gym. I haven't been to a local gym, basketball gym, in about a year and a half. When I got out of it, I got out of it. But
yeah, I know.
Man, I might have to get a ticket to the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest or something, man. We're gonna see. Y'all might see Dre in a tuxedo or something. I might step in.
You gonna come in that's what
coming up.
You gonna come dressed for prom?
No, I'm gonna dress for basketball. I'm coming in like Will Smith on Men in Black. And then at the end, I'm gonna take that light and put it on everybody because y'all didn't see me.
That's hard. That's hard.